well is important. The goal of every business is to maximize its profits. Tied directly to the business is buying and selling. To put another way, what a business buys and sells have a direct relationship to its customers, thus its profits. Hi again, I'm Randy Forbes, an entrepreneur trainer. And this evening, I'll be sharing with you why buying well is important for the success of your business. But before we get started, again, I'd like for you to introduce yourself. This time what we're going to do, we're going to use an elevator conversation. Think about it. You're going from the first floor to the second floor, and you meet someone nice in there, someone who you want to have a potential business relationship with. And I want you to, in that 30 seconds, 15 seconds, for you to say something about yourself. Just say who you are and what business you're into and how is your day, something. What would you tell that person if you have just 30 seconds, 15 seconds in the elevator with them? So let's start off with Ryan.
My name is Ryan Forbes. I want to know why buying well is important in the business field. I am into plumbing business.
So you want to know where you can get this plumbing supply from?
That's what my supply.
Yes. Okay, very good.
My name is Randy Forbes. The field I'm in is the barbering field. I want to know where can I buy the supplies, the price to sell them at, and which market to target.
Okay, and what style you got? Very good. Michelle.
Yes, my name is Michelle, and I am into the, shoe store business, and I like to know if, I'm marketing my product to the right set of people. My aim is young people, and what other products I could purchase, to satisfy their needs and their wants.
Absolutely, absolutely, very good. I mean, people wear a shoe every day and they need a shoe. they need a shoe regularly. So hey, that's an opportune business, but there are a lot of competitors out there now, so you have to position yourself well. Mr. Forbes.
Yeah, my name is Raymond Forbes, and I'm in the new and newest tire business. And I'm interested to know why, buying well is important and how I'm able to take advantage of it as a business owner.
Okay, very good. I'm happy that you're here with us this evening. Now, at the end of this lesson, I would like for you, in order to be successful, you should be able to identify categories in which business buy. What are the major categories in which business have to purchase? You should be able to outline the important question businesses need to address before buying. You need also, at the end of this, you should also be able to know how to avoid mistakes when purchasing for your business. You should be able to know the steps that must be followed when purchasing, and finally, be able to explain what it means to buy well. Okay, there are four major categories in which businesses buy. The first category is businesses buy equipment. Equipment are machineries and tools, etc. Now, when purchasing these items, it is crucial that you get certain information. The first thing you want to know is whether the machine you're purchasing works, and whether you can service it on a regular basis. Who is able to service this particular equipment that you purchase? You would also want to know, especially if it's in a manufacturing situation, you want to know whether it's environmentally friendly. If it's not, you want to inquire to determine whether or not there are other machines that would leave a smaller environmental footprint than other machines. And secondly, or next, you may want to know, would it require any special training to use such equipment? and whether there are local people who can deal with your machine. Okay, so these are the things that you need to know if you buy equipment. Next, you may want to buy raw material. Again, because of environmental degradation, you would want to know exactly whether the raw material that you are purchasing, okay, how environmentally friendly it is. Does it cause pollution? Does it cause harm? Because you're dealing with raw material. Raw material are the inputs you're using as intermediate goods to produce final goods and services. So you would want to know the environmental impact of such material. Okay. Next, you have to purchase finished goods. Finished goods, especially if you're in the retail business, finished goods are goods that are being sold to the ultimate consumer. There's no further added value that needed to be put into this item because it's going directly to the customer. So businesses buy finished goods. And you would want to know when you finish purchasing finished goods, the quality of that product, whether that product is meeting the needs of your customer. Remember, the goal of the business is to maximize profit, and that profit is based upon the consumer satisfaction. Okay, and the third area in which business buy is services, and they buy services such as cleaning, security, okay, accounting services. You would like to know when you purchase these services, how credible these people are, okay? How professional they are in conducting their business, because you want to protect the integrity of your business, and you want to surround yourself with people who are professional and who are efficient, because if they are, then you are, and then you would basically satisfy your customer. But there are some common mistakes businesses make in buying goods. Now there are four mistakes, and they're very common. Firstly, businesses may buy the wrong quantity of a product, the wrong amount. And if you buy the wrong amount of product, what happens is that you left with those goods in your hand at the end of the day. And goods left in your hand at the end of the day translate into losses, and businesses hate losses. So you want to purchase the right quantity of products. Sometimes business purchase the wrong quality of a product. Mr. Forbes is in used tires. Now, does he purchase used walk tires? Okay. Does he purchase used tires that the minute you go there, you hit a bump and that's it. You don't want those tires because they are not going to satisfy your car. Okay, excuse me, but you know, I understand his business, so I know his experience, and he buys well. Let me put it that way. Next is buying at the right price. You don't want to purchase a product at a too high a price, because if you purchase at a too high a price, when you go to sell your product, what may happen is that you may find that your customer are not ready to purchase that particular product. Again, remember, the ultimate goal is to please the customer. If you cannot please them, then it goes directly to your bottom line. And finally, you want to purchase at the right time. You want to ensure that the goods that you're purchasing is you purchasing it at the right time. You don't want to purchase it too far in advance, and you don't want to purchase too close at the time that is needed. So make sure, understand the quality, the quantity, the time, and the right price is important in purchasing. Now, to mitigate against these mistakes, there are several things or several steps that can be taken. And these steps are known as the buying rules or procedures. First of all, when purchasing, you must always have in mind your customer, the ultimate consumer of your product. Knowing what that customer desire is, knowing what that customer price tag is. In other words, many people would desire your product, or would say they like your product, but they won't purchase your product. But your target customer is that person. It's not only the one that would like your product, but it's that one who actually purchase your product. So to mitigate against these common mistakes, you want to fully understand your customer. Also, you would also want to understand who your supplier is. You would want to know whether the supplier that you are inquiring about or would like to use is a supplier who has the most recent or the most current equipment. Understand the market trends. Whether that supplier is a supplier who's able to not only offer a competitive price. That supplier is also well liked by other businesses in the particular industry. And to find out more about that supplier, you would want to go to places like your local chambers of commerce. You would want to peruse on the internet if you're looking for a supplier. Or you may just continuously ask around about a supplier if you don't have a supplier in mind and would want to know. And so the feedback you get from inquiring about a supplier will help you make that decision in purchasing a good or service. Now, once you have identified a supplier, you may want to do some background checks on your supplier. Once you know the supplier you would like to, or you would hope to do business with, it's good to do some background check on that supplier. Find out what their delivery time is like. Find out what their return record is. Return in terms of not performing well and people requesting exchange for their product. You want to know all about that when it comes to the supplier. The quality of the products that they're selling. Are the quality of their product competitive? Is it the quality that your customers want? Once you establish that the supplier is able to deliver, has the goods you want, the quantity that you want, then you can ask for a quote. Now, in asking for a quote, you may always ask for a discount because again, the bottom line is what you're looking at. Suppliers out there are willing and able to give you deep discounts, okay? So you can have that competitive advantage. You may also ask them about sharing costs with you, okay? Whether they would pay for the shipping costs and so forth and so on. And always ask, okay, for terms of payments. Whether they would want you to pay in advance, pay COD, cash on delivery, or whether they would extend credit to you. Okay? Once you have established that this firm now is one that you like to deal with, you would then start negotiating terms. Negotiating terms then require that you find out exactly the discount you would receive when you are purchasing a certain quantity of goods. You would ask for warranty. You would ask for timing of delivery. You may also inquire about their credit policy and return policy. All of these things are important when you're negotiating with a supplier. And after you've complete negotiations with the supplier and you're satisfied, you're then able to sign a contract with a supplier. Now, when you have a contract, there's certain things you want to look for when it comes to supply. You want to make sure the product name is there. You want to make sure that the timing of the delivery is documented, the responsibility of each party, okay, the provisions for legal and regulatory requirements. You want to make sure the terms of payments are there. And finally, the conditions for termination. You always should have the conditions of termination because you don't know what the future holds. And by spelling this out at the very beginning would give you an understanding when the situation arises. And finally, when you receive your product from the supplier, you want to make sure check the delivery note or the invoice, because the delivery note and the invoice would signify that you've examined the product and that you're satisfied with the product. If you're not satisfied, you want to complain immediately. Do not hesitate and do not sign the delivery note if there is a complaint. Okay? But if you're satisfied with the delivery, you sign the delivery note, and that you advance payments to the supplier. Okay? So, in the nutshell, buying well requires that you buy the right quantity, buy the right quality, buy it at the right price, buy it at the right time. And all of this will depend on how much you understand the supplier and ultimately your customer. Thank you very much. Any questions?